Well, with that, some big breaking news which is coming in a day after a local man sets himself ablaze after protesting against the anti-encroachment drive in Chennai. Now, protests have broken out in Chennai's R.A Puram area, where the demolition drive is being conducted by Tamil Nadu's Water Resource Department and Urban Habitat Development Board. Now, this comes just a day after a resident died after setting himself on fire protesting against this demolition. Now, the government has announced 10 lakh rupees compensation for his family. However, the protests now are continuing. Well, this anti-encroachment drive began on the instructions of the Supreme Court. Well, this after a businessman approached the top court alleging that a huge piece of land which is owned by him is adjacent to the Govind Swami Nagar and has now been encroached upon. So as per the Supreme Court order, about 259 such houses which are located in this area were to be demolished before April 2022. Now, the residents whose houses were being demolished are saying that they have been living there for the last 60 years.
Residents of Govind Swami Nagar in Chennai's R.A Puram are protesting against the demolition of their houses by Water Resources Department and Tamil Nadu Slum Clearance Board. So following a Supreme Court order that all these houses, 259 houses, are located in an encroached area, both the departments, the Slum Clearance Board Department and the Water Resources Department, they came to demolish these houses 3-4 days back. And the residents who are living in those houses, they have been protesting for the past 3-4 days against the demolition drive. It is said that no standard operating procedure was followed throughout the demolition. Almost half of the demolition has already been over, and the residents are protesting against for the demolition. In fact, a resident named Kannaya, who is over 60 years old, he had set himself on fire yesterday in protest against this demolition, and today morning, unfortunately, despite providing good quality treatment, he died. And the Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, while talking in the assembly today, he told that rupees 10 lakh compensation would be provided for Kanya's family, and that in the further displacements that are being carried out in the city, proper SOPs would be followed. So that's the promise that Chief Minister M.K. Stalin had made in the assembly today. And right now in the visuals, we can see residents of Govind Swami Nagar here in R.A Puram. They are holding black flags and placards of with images of Kanya, and they are protesting against this particular demolition drive by the government, calling that these people are living in an encroached area. They are telling that they have been living here for over 60 years now, and that they cannot shift anywhere else and create a new livelihood. But meanwhile, the Tamil Nadu government has told that they'll allot houses for them in Mandavali and Mylapore areas, which are located nearby, as soon as possible.
இப்போ எங்களால் பேசக்கூட முடியல. எங்களுக்கு அந்த நிலைமையில இருக்கிறோம். நாங்கள் வீடு இல்லாத இன்னைக்கு நான் ரோட்ல என் புருஷன் இல்லை, கேன்சரில் இருந்துட்டாரு. 2 குழந்தைங்களை வச்சு நான் அனாதை மாதிரி ரோட்ல உட்காந்துட்டு இருக்கேன். சாமான எத்தமே எங்கள் அம்மா. எங்களுக்கு என்ன தீர்வுன்ட்டு கவர்மெண்ட்டு தான் சொல்லணும். என்ன பண்ணுவாங்களோ தெரியல. எங்களை இப்படியே விட்டுருவாங்க போல இருக்கு. நாங்கள் ரோட்ல நிற்கிறோம் இன்னைக்கு அனாதை.
Well, let me go across to Dharani for more updates on this. Dharani, what really is happening right now? Because the demolition drive has begun, but the massive amount of protests which have been happening, but this is a Supreme Court order. So will the drive continue as per the Supreme Court mandated order which is coming in? Dharani.
Residents of Govind Swami Nagar in Chennai's R.A Puram have been protesting against demolition of their houses by the Water Resource Department and Tamil Nadu Slum Clearance Board. Following a petition from a businessman who allegedly owns a huge piece of land adjacent to Govind Swami Nagar, the Supreme Court had in February 2022 ordered that 259 houses belonging to the area of Govind Swami Nagar should be demolished before April 2022. So following that order, 3 days before, officials from the Water Resources Department and the Tamil Nadu Slum Clearance Board, they went to the Govind Swami Nagar locality, and they started demolishing houses despite people protesting in huge numbers. So this has been going on for the past 3-4 days now, and right now people whose houses have already been demolished, they are in the streets, they are cooking, and they're sleeping in the streets. Women are telling that they're not even able to use.
Yes, we can see the visuals are coming in, but will the government then step in to try and provide them some relief? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much for joining us with all the details, Aruni. Well, with that, a short break. Don't go anywhere.